Welcome to This Week in Guns, episode number one. Uh, all right, scratch that. Wrong show. Um, it's 136, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It will
Welcome.
be now.
Will be now, yeah, no doubt. All right. Welcome to This Week in Guns, episode number 136. Commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz, brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. I'm your host, Kenny Ortega, content manager for Firearms Radio Network. You make this program possible. That's right, you. Simply click through our Amazon affiliate link next time you're shopping online. A small portion of your sale goes to supporting pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. With us this week, we have Adam Kraut, Esquire, from the Firearms Industry Consulting Group, division of Prince Law Offices.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing well. Pleasure to be back.
Oh, great to have you. Also with us is Rob Smith, a gun geek from North Carolina, and you're also a content contributor, Rob, for which show again?
The Gun and Gear Review podcast, I've been working with those guys over there for a few weeks.
Perfect.
Doing a commentary on their podcast.
Well, good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, no problem at all. So, looks like, Adam, why don't you give us a little update on what's going on with Prince Law Offices?
Well, gee, there's a lot going on. We're currently litigating a couple of things, state issue specific related to firearms. Our right no request for Harrisburg for the donors to their fund to defend their illegal firearms ordinances. I'm appealing that up to the Commonwealth Court, so that's the intermediate, that's the first level of appellate courts, and we'll see if we get a favorable decision out there. We had a decision handed down by the judge from the common pleas earlier this week, I believe, that he denied us the donor list, reversed the Office of Open Records decision. So that's, as far as work, that's what's going on. We do have a machine gun shoot coming up in April of this coming year. Typically, we do a biannual machine gun shoot for our clients, and we're making it bigger and better. So this one's going to be about 20 miles south of the New York border in Monroe, Pennsylvania, at Shooter's Gauntlet. And it's going to be a fantastic time. We're going to have major manufacturers are showing up. We're going to have a silencer demo range. There's other activities on the property, and it is a sanctioned event by ATF. So that means dealers will be able to transfer firearms at the event. So we're looking to kind of do a Knob Creek of the Northeast, only with a little bit other offerings. And this is going to be the inaugural event, so we're really excited about it. There is a link to it in the show notes, and we hope you'll join us.
Yeah, it looks like quite an event. Is there going to be a cost for people to get in, or just for whatever they decide to participate in?
Yeah, so I think it's like $20 for a 2-day pass, or $25 for a 2-day pass. It's not terribly expensive, and that's just to cover the cost of some of the staff there. But vendors typically, at least with our machine gun shoots, some vendors will allow people to use their own ammunition. Some charge by the magazine or belt or however they do it, and some will just sell ammo. So we're looking to get a whole bunch of different things there, and then, like I said, we do have some major manufacturers that we're going to be announcing in the near future here as to who's responded. But there's some exciting names that have already thrown their hat into the ring, so it's going to be a great time.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Makes me wish I was back east.
Get on a plane. You got time.
No doubt. All right, and also with us is Rob Smith. Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm resident of the Raleigh, North Carolina area. I'm a big-time firearms enthusiast, and about a couple months or so ago, I've been got involved in the Gun and Gear Review podcast, and I've been working with them. And thank you for inviting me tonight.
I'm glad to have you. So, I'm sure a lot of people don't know me. I have a famous name, but I'm not a famous person. My name's Kenny Ortega, not to be confused with the choreographer-director. But Southern California resident, originally from New York, grew up in New York City, moved out of that communist state to another. So that wasn't my choice, but I ended up here. Been living out in California now for about 30 years. In that time, we've done a lot of stuff with firearms over those last 3 decades. Started out competing a little bit. With that, went into being an apprentice gunsmith, did a lot of work at the range, worked for a commercial reloader, managed a gun store, went into law enforcement for a while, did some firearms instructing. So I've done a bunch of stuff over the years, and now I'm just an enthusiast and hobbyist. Been working as a content contributor for this show for the last couple months or so. And here we are. So with that, let's just touch on a couple of things here. Obviously, we want to let you know patriotpatch.co is Jake and Ryan's company. They're doing some good things there with some great patches that they have. They've got their flag patch, their 4-pack. It's available for pre-order now. That's just $34.87 for all 4 patches there. But some great looking patches and also some awesome t-shirts that are going to be coming our way as well. So it looks like some things I got to try to sneak in the house here. So moving on, looks like well, I'm sure everyone's aware at this time that there was another mass shooting that occurred in Oregon today. Looks like a 20-year-old went on a rampage there. It looks like from some reports that he may have been targeting Christians at this time. It looks like there are 13 dead and about 10 more injuries. So I don't know. You guys have anything to weigh in on with that?
This is to me, it's a very sad event. I mean, I think we need to take our time and pause and reflect upon the people that passed away today, the people that were the victims, and the people that I believe there are still some people that were taken to the hospital. They're still fighting for their lives. I guess I just don't like the fact that these people aren't even buried yet, and you've already got people on both sides of this gun control issue. The president and basically the NRA and pro-gun people coming out with their political spin already. I think we just need to take time, step back from this for about a week, and then we can start the debates and discussions and stuff like that. But it's a very, very sad event, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Rob and I had talked about this a little bit before the show, and we both kind of agree in the sense that it's kind of sad that both sides, be it pro-gun, anti-gun, are so quick to get out there to put their message out instead of just kind of letting families grieve the loss of their loved ones and then maybe attempt to have engage in discourse. And granted, I'm sure we'll never agree. I know where my opinions lie, and I'm sure I'll never agree with somebody who's on the other side of the fence. But that said, I welcome an open discussion. I'm willing to have that discussion, and you're entitled to that person's entitled to their opinion just as I'm entitled to my opinion. But I think how quickly everybody just jumps into it is kind of it's a little bit troubling to some degree, and I guess on the other hand I understand why, but I don't know. It's just it's a sad thing. And the other thing is we don't have all the facts. We don't know. There's no information that I've seen anyway as to how the person came into possession of the firearm, whether they already owned it, whether it was stolen. There's a lot of things that we don't know. With any kind of situation, knowing facts before we pass judgment is usually a beneficial thing for any kind of discussion.
And plus, it just happened this afternoon, so we're going to get a lot of misinformation. A lot of stuff's going to be redacted, re-edited, changed, modified as the truth comes out. And I want to know what the truth happened with this before I start getting on my particular high horse. And like Adam said, I'm not going to agree with certain people. The president, mom's demand action, all that stuff. But I'll listen to them, and I'll have a discourse with them if they'll be willing to listen to me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I understand. I mean, it's horrible for the people that are affected by this, obviously. No one should have to go through this. But what I find most disturbing about it all is the fact that apparently this, 20-year-old murderer was online last night, telling people of his plans for today, and nobody did a thing to try and prevent it. At least not that we're aware of at this time. Wants to jump on quick to say that we need to do something about the guns. Well, this could have been stopped, before or at least at this time it looks that it could have been stopped before this ever occurred. So it would have been nice if somebody had done that, and I doubt that the media will really portray that aspect of it at all. And then there's still a lot of answers to be discovered for as of yet. But I saw earlier someone that I associate with online received an email from Mom's Demand Action already sending out, trying to raise money and send condolences to the families involved. And it's just, they don't really care. It's just, it fits their agenda.
And that's what they're doing now. Is how do we pump up our agenda and how do we get our stuff through Congress and try to force people to see it our way.
Yep.
I think I'll say my thoughts and prayers are with the family of those who passed away and also with those who are fighting for their lives in the hospitals. And I hope that it comes out good for them. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a horrible thing. Nobody, like I said, nobody should have to go through it. And unfortunately, there are crazy people out there in this world that force some of us to have to deal with it, regardless.
Right.
So, I guess we'll be weighing in on that some more as more information comes in on it. But in the meantime, again, thoughts and prayers go out to the families involved. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So, how about this next story? Colt on the brink of disaster awarded M4 and M4A1 contract. Kinda.
Yeah. This is the one where they've still got the rights or the patent on the M4 design. So I think when FN got the contract to build the gun, so now they've got to pay Colt royalties. I'm sure they're going to give them some money, but it's not going to be, a huge chunk of the $250,000 contract they got. So they're going to get some money, but it's not going to be enough from what the article said. It's not going to be enough to bail them out of this bankruptcy they're about headed down.
No, not at all. I mean, it's
So,
if I remember correctly, the number was something like 214,000 they're going to be making, which is not anywhere near enough to get them out of the hole they're in.
and the sad part is, I hate to say it, but they dug this hole themselves. When you had other gun manufacturers going out there and innovating and leading design charges, Colt just said, "Oh, we're going to make the same guns we made for the last 100 years or the last 50 years." Glock comes out here. Eventually, Smith and Wesson retooled their lines. FN retooled their line. I haven't seen Colt do anything. So
Apparently, Colt did a lot of stuff. They just let it sit. They didn't, follow through with anything that was viable. GGR just had a great take on it on yesterday's podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, bankruptcy, the good thing about bankruptcy anyway is that it forces a company to restructure if it wishes to continue on. So if it has the correct, good leadership and it restructures correctly, Colt will continue. And it was Colt Defense that went under, if I recall correctly. It wasn't actual Colt. I think they have a couple different companies. I may be wrong on that because, quite honestly, I didn't really pay attention. I don't own any Colts. I don't really care if it has the pony on it or not. That does nothing for me. But that's just me.
it was my understanding that in the early '80s, Colt split off into the Colt Defense and Colt, Civilian, and then maybe a decade or so ago they merged them back into one big umbrella. So
Okay.
I mean, you're right. They'll go through bankruptcy. They'll reorg. They'll probably have to maybe lay some people off. But what I'm not liking is this crap where they're trying to preserve their golden parachutes for their upper management.
Standard procedure. That's common. That's nothing new.
Yeah, well, but I guess
I'm not a fancy lawyer, so I wouldn't know how that stuff works.
I'm not fancy either.
my janitors there that are making some ridiculous sums of money. So it's just all the way around.
I guess I'm in the wrong line. I think I need to go into a bankruptcy law, right, Adam?
Sure. Just watch that law school debt. That'll catch up with you.
Yeah. Any kind of degree debt is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, if they do go under, I just know that I've got a 25-year-old sporter competition H-bar that'd be worth a whole lot more money.
There you go.
Like Adam said, I don't think they'll go under. I think they'll reorg. They'll probably have to, sell off some assets, get leaner, meaner, what have you, and maybe even move out of. I think they're in Massachusetts or Connecticut. They might wind up moving. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I guess dealing with more misinformation here, we have the Customs and Border Patrol saying they never talked to ATF to reclassify 7.6, 545 by 39 ammo. Freedom of Information Act basically said that there is no record of it. So a whole lot of speculation there again.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I'll weigh in on this real quick. So when you write a FOIA request, you got to be somewhat specific with your request as to what you're looking for and where, the form, things like that. So when you're writing a FOIA request, there's certain elements of things you got to do. So one of the things that we do when we submit FOIA requests is we make sure that they overlap in some capacity. So we'll ask about a communication or a document, and then we'll ask about a different communication or a different document, but we'll try and have them overlap, kind of like a Venn diagram. So you have the one circle, the other circle, and how it overlaps in the middle there, and you have that common area, so that if your one area might not hit the mark, the other one will. So it depends how that request was structured and what the language used in it was, because it's very well possible there is a communication that does exist. They just didn't ask the right query, if you will, for it.
Oh. I would be inclined to say that if that happened, within maybe a week or two, you'll probably see them the Customs and Border Protection just release this. Oh, here's an email we got where we requested the ATF to do a review on this.
And then there's all kinds of privileges and exemptions and stuff that they can claim. So it's a messy business. It's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, the story goes into that a bit, saying that it may have just been a informal communications that may have done it, or it may have actually been a different agency and somebody may have confused who was making the request. So
Sure.
Again, a lot of speculation. Have to wait and see how that was going to play out.
You mean confusion among the government alphabet soup? Man, perish the thought.
If they're not confused, they're lying. So one of the two.
You got that right.
So now this one's kind of surprising. Well, not really surprising. I'm saying that facetiously. Is LAPD? I guess they negotiated a deal to buy some guns through a vendor at SHOT Show. Looks like through Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, through Smith.
Mm-hmm. And apparently violated ethics codes because they were getting discounts of like $125 per weapon that made it over the legal limit for a gift. Is the way the department's seeing it.
Now this was a particular unit too. It wasn't the entire LAPD, right? It was
Correct.
just a subsection of them.
Yeah, I think it was actually the Firearms and Training Division.
Okay.
Yeah, the way they wrote it, it almost sounded like the guns were supposed to be used for the LAPD, and they went and just negotiated it through the vendor rather than going through the correct channels. So, yeah, the title's like, ooh, this is going to be a good one. Then you start reading it, and I was kind of let down because it almost looks like they just had a big time faux
Yeah, I'm not really. I think it's more clickbait than anything. I'm not really all that impressed with their ethics violation. If that's it, that officers who get a discount got a little bit more of a discount, I can't say I'm really impressed.
I mean, I'd be upset if it was they took that discount and then turned around and sold the guns back to the LAPD at full price. Then I'd be pissed at that.
Well, and
because then they're profiting off of the government.
And this was their individual money, if I read this the way I read it. Like, these were personal pistols, weren't they? So this was coming out of their own pocket.
Yeah, the issue is that they used their position to influence someone to give them a deal that they wouldn't have gotten normally.
Wait, you mean somebody who works for the government used their position to get a better deal for them? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, in California, it's called acting under color of authority.
So. That's what it's called everywhere.
Wasn't sure how that relates in other states, but yeah, so that's exactly what they did. And I worked alongside LAPD for many years, and I still have many LAPD friends. As a matter of fact, my next door neighbor is still working LAPD. He's got 20 years in. He'll be retiring soon. But
you get a good deal on a Smith.
He still carries a gun. He's real old school.
I'm not sure they got a deal greater than what a regular cop would have got, because like blue box Glocks are maybe $80 to $100 off the sticker price of a new Glock.
Oh, they're more than that. They're significantly cheaper.
Yeah,
well, remember the GSSF, you can buy them. So.
Yep. Yeah. It's the same price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, they can go to the LA Police and Revolver Club, which is actually at their academy in Elysian Hills, and buy guns there. The public can go in there and buy them as well. You just don't get the same exact deal that the officers get. But and you can't walk out with it same day. You have to go through the waiting period. Officers have the advantage. They don't have to go through the 10-day wait out here.
Oh,
10 days?
Some animals are more equal than other animals. Got it.
Exactly.
Here in Pennsylvania, you can go in and, assuming you don't get delayed, right on out.
The same thing in North Carolina, especially if you got a concealed carry permit. You just walk in there, give them your driver's license, concealed carry permit, credit card, and have gun will travel.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
not that way.
they've already done the background on me when I got my concealed carry. So
Right. No, a lot of other states are that way. Out here, it's not. Although that's supposed to be coming soon because they struck down the 10-day wait is unconstitutional out here. So
good,
waiting to actually put that in place to see how they're going to go about it. So when I worked
very
for the
gingerly.
yeah, I was able to go in with the police letter and walk out with it same day, and that's the way that they covered their butt on it to make sure there's
Nice.
a paper trail showing that it went to law enforcement. So, speaking of things going on in different states, how about New Jersey strikes again, huh?
I am pissed. I'm sorry. I read this and I got upset.
Yeah, did you watch the
I
video?
mean, yes, I watched the video and I read the article. And yeah, if you guys who are listening, go to the show notes and click on the video that's on the first link, and they actually go through the whole thing where the lady is basically Mrs. Higginbotham is going to the airport with her gun to bring it to Florida because she's going back to her house in Florida because I guess she got smart and decided to get out of Jersey. Goes to the airport, does everything legally, says, "Here, I have a gun. It's in the original manufacturer case. It's locked. Mr. TSA agent, I'd like to check it in." I guess the female TSA agent who was behind the counter said, "Oh, no, you can't use a plastic case. You have to have a metal case." They went looking for a metal case the way I read it and saw the video. Come back, couldn't find a metal case. By that time, her supervisor had already called the frickin' cops. Cops came there and arrested her.
Yeah,
And there is no federal law that says you have to have it in a metal case. It has to be a hard case and a lockable hard case. You know,
and it
and
depends on the airline you're flying too, because they all have their own different rules that they want to apply.
Yeah, but that's just a
nice.
policy thing. That's not a legal standard. That's obscene. I
This this whole thing is stupid.
yeah.
Frickin' Jersey's what it is. And the thing is, on the Gun Gear Review podcast, one of the co-hosts, Tony, he's from Jersey, and he's working with there's another article about the three people that got pardoned. He's working with Shanine Allen, who was the lady that got pulled over in Jersey, declared a gun to a cop, and got arrested. This ruined her life, and this is going to do the same thing for this poor lady's life. It's going to ruin her life because it's a felony arrest. And I believe they said in the article that she was in the healthcare industry, and in that industry you have to have a license, and normally they pull your license if you have a pending indictment for a felony.
Yeah. Um,
So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm off my high horse. You can.
No, I mean you're absolutely right. She's gonna unfortunately you have another situation where somebody who was trying to follow the law ended up getting screwed. I've met Shanine Allen, and
Mhm.
unfortunately for her, she found herself in New Jersey and did what the Philadelphia Police Department told her to do when you're pulled over by the police. Tell them that you have a gun and that you have a permit. Now, wrong state, but she was trying to be upfront, and unfortunately, her life went upside down because of that as well.
Oh, she's totally hosed.
Yeah, wasn't she also in the healthcare industry?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like I said, I was talking to Tony, who's on the Gun and Gear Review podcast afterwards, and he said he's had dinner with the young lady, and she is just as nice can be. And she was in the healthcare industry. She lost her house, I believe. She was in jail for almost 45 days, and her life is just a living he double hockey stick right now. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, one thing can totally hose you, just one little thing,
Yeah.
and I feel for her.
Yeah, all she did was make a wrong turn and end up in Jersey. I mean, just
Exactly. And here's a girl that's following the law, going to the airport, here's my gun, I'd like to check it, and then, oh, you're going to prison now. It's like, jeez.
yeah, if we
I
don't have
mean,
an issue with overpopulation in prisons, we need to go ahead and take innocent people and make them criminals.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I encourage y'all, go to the show notes, click on a link, and if you're not mad, you'll get pissed when you see this. You'll get very upset.
Yeah,
And
and support her. I mean, there's um, there's a
yes.
fund. Um, she has a legal defense fund that you can contribute to help her out. So
Yep.
people like this, we need to stand up for each other as a community, and anything we can do to help is it just shows that we stand behind each other, and hopefully, if we ever need it, those same people will be there for us.
Absolutely.
So, and not too far from New Jersey, we got the Nassau County DA who was apparently ordering their prosecutors that they couldn't own firearms or possess firearms in any way. They couldn't go to a shooting range and enjoy them or do anything in any way relating to firearms, or they'd be fired. So thankfully they rescinded that and backed off. Now they can.
How could they issue such an edict?
Yeah, I have no idea how that would have stood up to. Well, no, it's New York, so it very well could have, but I don't know how anywhere else that would have stood up to any kind of constitutional challenge. That
I mean, how can you sit here at a work and say you can't own an illegal item at your house? You can't do something that's illegal. That'd be like saying you can't go out and buy a Toyota Prius. You have to buy this car. You work for me, you have to own this car. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, why?
I got relatives in upstate New York, and they all say, if we could just get rid of New York City, it'd be a nice state to live in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for the bloody cold winters.
Yeah, well, you could be in Minnesota. It's worse.
Oh, nah. There's a reason I'm in the South.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of ridiculousness. I would approach it from a standpoint of, if you're going to tell me what I can and can't do 24 hours a day, then you need to be paying me 24-hour day salary.
Or if you're going to tell me I can't own a gun, then you need to provide me with 24-hour Secret Service protection.
Yeah, well, and these are DAs who undoubtedly have people that would like to see them disappear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But going back to the Governor Christie pardons article, that to me is just a political hack job. I think he's doing that just because he wants to get favor for the Republican presidential nomination. Because he waited a long time to pardon those people. And I would hope that he would take some action on Higginbotham sooner than later. But
we would hope so. Hopefully he will get involved, and it is to his benefit with the current election cycle going on. We know that he's not doing it because he cares. He's only doing it for his own agenda, but at the very least, it can help her out. So, all right. So how about this next story here with Montana in Missoula, the background check ordinance. So I guess Mom's Demand is up in arms because private party transactions don't have to go through a background check.
Well, yeah, it's. I thought a city council was putting that gun show loophole, closing that in their area, and the Mom's Demand actually was going, oh yes, we like this ordinance. We think they should pass it because it'll make everything safer, and the usual diatribe of crap they spew.
Yep, and like they say in the story, though, all they have to do is go over to the next city, do the transaction there, and this is only in Missoula. It's not statewide.
Oh no, that means they have to apply that for everybody, and all the criminals will also go do that too. Yeah, that'll make it really apply to the criminals. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like the state has state preemption that would prevent that, but at the same token, does it? Montana could protect those that sell firearms from being regulated. I don't know. I mean, if you're a licensed dealer, you absolutely have to do a background check on a purchaser. If you're a private individual, depending upon what state you're in, you may not have to. Like in Pennsylvania, for instance, long guns are okay to sell face-to-face without a background check, but handguns, you have to go to a dealer to do it. And it's state law, and that's... I don't know. I don't think it's going to change anything, but...
Yeah.
Well, I'm in California, where all handguns and long guns all require, even for private party transfers, they have to go through a dealer.
So North Carolina does that stupid pistol purchase permit crap. Which you want to get me started on a tirade? Get me started on the pistol purchase permit. Yeah, I moved up here from Florida, where if I wanted to buy a gun from a private party, it was like just sell the gun. Up here, rifles are okay, but pistols you got to get a permit. It just infuriates me to no end.
Yeah, private party sales used to be legal here up until '92, and then they became illegal then. Well, illegal, but you had to go through a dealer. Otherwise, they were illegal.
And again, I'm sure all these gang members and all these prisoners, when they get out of prison, they go to the gun stores and buy their guns right from a gun store. Yeah.
Like I explained to Adam earlier, I used to manage a gun store, and in that time, never did I have a felony disqualification for someone buying a gun. The only time I ever dealt with a felon dealing with a firearm was some guy brought in an AK, ended up being a select fire AK, and
Cool.
yeah, he doing the paperwork.
Neato.
Oh yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. We were wondering why there's no manufacturer's marks or anything. There were some proof marks that looked foreign, but we couldn't find any information on who built the gun or anything.
Hey, why
Nice.
does this thing go to 3 positions? Whoa, that's not normal.
That was
Go
exactly.
back and shoot it.
So the guy was
It-
asking a lot of funny questions about converting guns and things, and so we called ATF in, and they came in the back door, and we called him
oh
back.
man, that should have been one of those. Hold on, let me take this to the gun range for a few hours, and then I'll come back and call the ATF.
Oh, we were a Class 3 dealer. We had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
Oh,
samples galore.
Where was that at? I'd like to go visit that.
It's, in Southern California, unfortunately, they're no longer around.
Oh,
They,
it
they
must have
went,
been a long time ago.
yeah, they went out of business probably a good 15 years ago or so.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a fun place to work. Got to meet a whole lot of cool people.
Okay.
Probably Sheen there before he was crazy. So yeah, he spent he actually used to have a federal firearms license and did a firearms instruction for celebrities. Him and a friend of his out in Malibu. So he spent like $9,000 with me one day buying a bunch of stuff for some upcoming classes he had.
Nice.
What do you think about Ralphie Sogg and his Red Ryder in Minnesota?
Dude, seriously? Seriously? You gonna call a BB gun a freaking firearm? Jersey does.
It's all in the definition section. The one thing I've learned in practicing law is it's amazing how many lawyers don't look at the definition section. Either it makes your day or it makes your day a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I mean that tells you what the elements are, and it breaks it down for you. Unfortunately, it looks like Minnesota was so vague that the court was able to interpret it that BB gun is a firearm. So thankfully, it hasn't gotten to that here in California yet, but there are so many.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, it's coming. It's just if it's not brightly colored and all the then there's other restrictions that outweigh this one by far. So it doesn't really matter. What I find out is that you can buy a black powder firearm with no restrictions whatsoever, other than being over 18. But heaven forbid you should go buy a BB gun.
And heaven forbid you should have a magazine with over 10 rounds in it.
Yeah. Well, we're allowed to have them if we had them before. We just can't use them in anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be the magazine police that'll come around and go, oh, you can't use that magazine.
It depends on what range you go to. Some ranges are better than others about that. Some ranges don't care, and others you've got the range masters there that will walk up and down the line and try to find any reason to kick you off their line.
Sounds like a fun time.
What a prick.
Yeah, you just got to know where to go.
Timestamp.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I think that's loud.
I said prick.
Yeah, like a pinprick.
Yeah.
No, got it. Sorry, my mistake.
No, prick. P-R-I-C-K. No, I mean, most of the gun ranges around here, thankfully, they're all cool. The only thing they don't want you to do is just full auto. And that's because most people cannot shoot full auto for anything.
Yeah.
And they're kind of rare to have full auto around here, but they're pretty cool as long as you're not doing anything stupid.
Yeah, most ranges out here don't want rapid fire for the same reason. They like to keep their baffles intact.
Yeah.
So Rob, what do you think about Dana Loesch and the threats that they made to her?
Dang, she's going to make a good spokesman for the NRA. But yeah, this is the case where one of these goobers who's anti-gunner redid her ad, which I was trying to find the ad so I could actually see what she did, because I didn't see your ad, but supposedly he does the ad, then he redubbed it or something, and at the end it shows a hand blowing her head off, and there's blood and guts and stuff all over the place, and they put, disturbing caution, disturbing images, blah, 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 blah. You might not like what you see. Okay, fine. That means every 8-year-old is going to want to go watch it. But what I really liked, though, was this guy put it out there, and he tried to spark her into a fight, and she's like, okay, I'm going to start donating money to the NRA. I guess they got other people on Twitter and social media. Hey, thank you, Dana. We're going to start going into the NRA and donating money to gun causes and stuff like that, and kind of lay the smack down all over him. I kind of like that part where he tried to smack her down, and it's like, no, we're going to go right back at you. Take that.
Yeah, NRA got a lot of membership out of it, a lot of donations,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of tweets, and now it looks like that the person who originally posted the ad, or the doctored ad, I should say, is now trying to defend himself on Twitter. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, just trying to disparage everyone with,
Yeah. The guy's name on one of these screenshots is, he goes by the Twitter handle Pinhead,
Yep.
and his name is @Tom Adelsbach. And I love that last tweet he put on there. No, you joined the NRA because your man parts are so small it's immeasurable.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is just childish.
It is.
That is absolutely stupid.
But that's typical of the anti-gun, where when they lose, when they get basically dominated by facts.
Call names.
Yeah, exactly. Resort to name calling, or you're a racist, or you're whatever it is. Anything they can do to try to divert you away from the actual issue and turn it into something else.
It's like the old political adage: if you can't pound on the truth, pound on the facts. If you can't pound on the facts, pound on the truth. If you can't pound on either, pound on the podium. And that's basically what they're doing. They're pounding the podium, going, "You evil, mean, blah 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 blah." Big mean jerk.
Yeah. That's all it is.
I got nothing on this one, so.
I'm just glad that they rebounded against this guy, and they're kind of saying, we're gonna stick it to you." So he was just being a twit. And I think somebody made a donation to the NRA Foundation in his name, which I thought was absolutely error.
Well, I think there were a few of those actually that they started in their name and Shannon Watts' name, just you name it. They started doing it to just do anything they could to irk them.
Hilarious.
All right, so I guess time for the full auto news segment. Stories the real media won't talk about and other crazy stuff. So Adam, you got one on here?
Yeah, it was actually one I threw on the show notes. Mother finds 800 rounds of ammunition in Toys R Us box.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So this woman, a mother is stunned after she says she found ammunition in her son's Toys R Us package. So apparently, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Minecraft. I don't really know, but it's this blocky game that apparently people are really into. So she says she ordered a foam sword from the toy store's website last week, and when the package arrived on Tuesday, which I'm guessing was, I guess Tuesday of this week, she says she found 800 rounds of 9mm ammunition in the box, along with the sword. Her quote was, "It is very shocking. You are ordering from a Toys R Us store. You don't expect to get ammo in a box of toys." She feels that her child's safety was at risk. Quote, "Very irresponsible, definitely on their part," she added. And Toys R Us commented that we're in the process of looking into the matter with our shipping carrier to determine how this may have occurred. Well, first of all, lady, I went and I looked at this sword that you ordered. This sword was $19.99. You got 800 rounds of 9mm ammunition and the sword. I say you made out very well, because that ammo was worth a little bit more than $19.99.
Yeah, it was like
I mean, hell, I wish I could order stuff and people would just send me almost a case of ammo. That would be great. I don't know. You gotta wonder if there's more to the story. Like, did she just happen to grab 800 rounds of ammunition, claim she found it in the Toys R Us box, or did she actually find 800 rounds? I wonder if maybe it's entirely possible UPS dropped the box where somebody freaked out and just rammed it all into this box and it ended up on her doorstep. But who knows? I want those kind of packages at my house, though. Bring them.
UPS isn't going to repackage something though. So if for some
No.
reason there's two packages that got merged together, that's not going to happen. I've worked in UPS facilities. If something breaks, it stays there. They just file the claim later.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that that ammo got put in with the Minecraft shipment. But I don't know why she's complaining. I looked at that. My first thought was, oh crap, she scored twice because she's got a gift for the kid and a gift for her husband.
Yeah, well, unless there was a 9mm laying around, there was no way that kid was going to hurt himself.
No.
Yeah, well, unless you brought it to school and then get suspended and all that other stuff.
Okay, well then, when she opened the box and saw it, she shouldn't have given it to him.
Just give him a Pop-Tart. Sorry.
Yeah, well, those are
I
pretty.
apologize for that.
So, how about you, Rob? Which story do you want to take?
I like a couple of them, but the one that kind of irked me a little bit was a restaurant refuses to serve a soldier for carrying firearm, and basically looked like it happened in Kentucky. A soldier, I believe it was a guardsman, walked into a Waffle House
Mhm.
with his uniform on, carrying his pistol, and they basically told him he had to leave. They put up some crazy statement that we believe that no guns is our policy, and we're not going to go back on that because it's safer for the customers and for our employees. And my statement was, okay, I guess I'm not eating at the Waffle House no more or anymore. Like, just kind of bugged me.
No, absolutely, and that seems to be going around lately. I mean, there have been so many restaurants lately refusing to serve police officers now, military servicemen. But when somebody goes ahead and walks in there with a gun and holds them up, who are they calling? People with
Mm-hmm.
guns. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
somebody's in there with a gun that can potentially stop something, you would think that they would be in favor of that because it means it's safer.
Yeah, but you're talking a military soldier. Everybody's always harping on training. Oh, I think those guys are trained pretty good. Yeah, I was never in the military, but it just kind of bugs me. I don't know.
I'm gonna err on the well. I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion here. I think the Waffle House is free to do it. One of the
Oh yeah.
things about America is private property rights is something that's been in existence for probably since before the founding of this country. And if they don't want that on their property, they have the right to ask people to
Yes.
leave. Um,
And I
and
agree with you, Adam.
and the flip side of the coin is you also don't have to patronize their business, and you reap what you sow to some degree.
Mhm.
Is it going to put Waffle House out of business for that Waffle House? No, I don't think so. Will it put a hurt on some of their profits? Possibly. But I think the flip side of the coin is as a private property owner, you have the right to regulate certain things on your property, and don't forget that you have that right as well. So it's one of those things that we don't have to like, but something you gotta respect from just a standpoint of their right as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's just because you can do something doesn't mean it's wise. So
And like I said at the start of my little gripe, it's probably the only last time I went into a Waffle House. So yeah, and
Food's
that's
not
all
that
good.
good anyway.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So the only time I've seen Waffle Houses full is at 2 o'clock in the morning after the bars let out. Other than that, there's maybe a few people in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, last time I was in Waffle House, my 17-year-old wasn't even born yet. So all right, I particularly like this one about the ATF agent. At a football game where he gets into a
yeah.
fight with another parent and then pulls his gun on the crowd when the crowd starts approaching. So now, these are supposed to be the arbiters of all things guns to the general public, to all of us. They're supposed to be the shining example, and here this guy is endangering a bunch of innocent civilians by waving his firearm around after he's gotten into a physical altercation with someone when, with all of his experience and training, he should know how to de-escalate that situation instead of escalating it to that point. So thankfully, he's being investigated. I just don't know why he hasn't been arrested. I think any situation like that, there should have been an arrest made and then
You know,
go forward from there.
absolutely. I just hope they take some kind of action against them, because if you're a cop, you can't be doing that crap. This is how cops get bad names, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them get a pass. They
Yeah.
special circumstances and all, and we don't want to destroy their career for their stupidity. I say,
I work in the private sector. I'm sure my people would have a problem destroying my career if I did something stupid.
no, if you're a law-abiding citizen, they'll come down on you twice as hard. If you're a career criminal, they'll
Exactly.
do every possible option to get out of it. Uh, the whole revolving door policy is just it's pretty sick, actually.
That's. Again, this one is where I'm gonna shut up before I get too far dug into a hole. But I tell you what, that video for the record-breaking 2-mile shot, that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, it was.
That
Uh,
was neat.
yeah, that was.
I, I like this story of the stolen gun that found its way home after 33 years. That's cool.
Hmm.
Uh, Guy had a Remington Nylon 66 stolen from his home in 1982. Apparently, he got it as a gift from his wife and used it to kill rats on their family farm. And the gun traveled some 650 miles from where down to Tennessee. It was originally stolen in Michigan. Uh, Sold at an estate sale, and the new owner attempted to resell the rifle, but the serial numbers ran and came back stolen. And apparently the gun was really well taken care of the entire time. From the picture, it looks like in tip-top shape, and the guy said still looks as good today as it did then. Somebody had taken care of it, so that's a
Absolutely.
happy ending to what was a sad story for the last 3 decades and
It's
change.
just cool, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, and if you look at that Underground Tactical Magpul sale, they're gone. They've already sold out. I clicked on the link. Nope, that's gone.
Yeah, I didn't think that would last too long.
I said 2 days and they sold out.
wow.
Yeah, another good story is that a group of mothers who learn to shoot guns. That's a pretty feel-good story, you know. Getting more people into the gun community is always a good thing.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that one up because it dovetails with Dana Loesch because she had her campaign. She's a mom and she shoots to protect her family.
Hmm.
So I think this is just dovetailing right into that and showing how many women are taking it seriously. And I mean, let's face it, a lot of women, a lot of families just think the obligation falls on the man of the house. But if the man of the house is at home and something happens, what are you going to do? Women need to know just as much as the men do in order to be able to protect the family because they're the ones that are usually caring for the family more so than the men.
And what if there is no man of the house?
Yeah, there's a lot of that too.
You know, so yep, you gotta learn to protect yourself because when seconds count, cops are only what, minutes away.
At least.
Sometimes hours.
Hmm.
Yeah, depending on where you live, or if you're in a big metropolitan area, you may not. I've been on hold for 911, for hours at times. Because we didn't have a direct number to dispatch when I used to do security work. We'd have someone we arrested. We needed to call to come pick up the body, and it would take forever to get. So, just depends on what else is going on in the city.
Hmm.
So, all right. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. Adam, you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, that's all I got for this week. And like I said, if you're next April 30th through May 1st, go check out that link. It's the Stone Mountain Machine Gun Shoot at the top of the show notes underneath my name. It's going to be an awesome time, and you'll hear me plug it more with more information as well. The website will get updated when there's more information. When tickets go on sale, they'll be available there. So please do come out. It's going to be a great time. And that's all I got this week. Oh, yeah, I
Uh-oh.
know. Obviously, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rob. Check out our blog, blog.princelaw.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/firearms industry consulting group. The Prince Law Offices has its own webpage as well. I'm sorry, Facebook page as well. And if you want, you can check me out on Instagram. My username is Moose15, so that's Moose00015. And I post pictures of guns, dogs, whatever else, and some cool stuff from my other job that comes through the door. So that's all I got for this week.
Nice. My turn?
Yes, go ahead.
I do want to do a real quick plug for Tony on the Gun and Gear Review podcast. He works with an outfit called New Jersey Safe because he's from the Communist Republic of New Jersey. And if you go to njsafecon.net, it's a group, and what they do is it's really, really cool. They get minorities, especially minorities, into the shooting sports and into shooting. They bring them in, give them a little spiel on gun safety and whatnot, and they take over a range and let them shoot guns and handle guns and teach them safe gun operation. And I think anything we can do to get more people into firearms and into shooting is a plus for our community and a plus for everything we do. So I just want to plug Tony for that. If you guys are up in Jersey area, any listeners, go to njsafecon.net and check it out. And also check out next week's Gun and Gear Review podcast. We're going to be doing something a little different. I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to have a good time doing it. So next week, Gun and Gear Review podcast, check it out.
All right, thanks for that. So, as always, we have our Patreon sites that we would like for you to visit. So for this show, This Week in Guns, it's www.patreon.com/week. So if you could go ahead and sign up to, give a little money per episode, it helps the show to bring the show to you, to provide for the various bandwidth costs and things associated with the show. None of us here are making any money on this. We do it out of just the love we have for firearms and for helping all those around. So, Jake could definitely use the help to keep this going and keep bringing you good content. And there's also the Firearms Radio Network Patreon page, which is at www.patreon.com/FRN, and that supports all the shows, not just this one. So anything you can do in that regard, it's always definitely appreciated. So also we, again, patriotpackage.co, great patches and t-shirts there. So leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of this YouTube video or the bottom of the show notes at http://www.thisweekinguns episode/136. Leave us a review on iTunes at thisweekinguns.com/iTunes. Contribute to the show by using our FRN Amazon affiliate link, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.